Hello everyone, I'm Laura and I work in the events team here at DMU. Welcome to our live stream today where we're going to be shining a spotlight on studying pharmacy here at DMU. I'm really pleased today to be joined by our current pharmacy students who will tell us a little bit more about their journey at DMU. So we're here to answer any questions you might have about your course or about the student experience at DMU. So please do leave your questions in the comments section that you'll see on your screen there. And throughout the live stream, we'll pick those questions up and we'll be sure to respond as quickly as possible with as much information as we can. So without further delay, I'm going to hand over and bring over our guests in and let them tell you about their journey and how they came to DMU.
Hi, I'm Caroline and I'm a third year pharmacy student.
Hello everyone, I'm Brent and I'm a third year pharmacy student.
So yeah, I can tell you a little bit more about how I started at DMU. So it seems like such a long time ago now. So I finished my A-levels in 2019 and I actually did a foundation year course, a year zero course. So that was just 1 year to help me get up to speed with all the science and the chemistry and everything involved. So it was a little bit different to the degree because in foundation year it was a lot smaller and just like we had 10 modules. We had a lot more modules, but I'm so happy that I did it because it made me much more prepared, much better prepared to start pharmacy than I would have been had I started from A-level straight away, because my A-levels, I did struggle a little bit due to some circumstances around that time. And yeah, now I've made it to third year, thankfully, and hopefully should finish soon as well.
So yeah, why I chose DMU? Well, first of all, I was in sixth form and I was doing biology, chemistry, and maths. I was thoroughly enjoying it, really enjoying it. I actually applied to other universities to study pharmacy, so the same degree, and I got into all universities. I got accepted into them, but it was up to me, and I chose DMU as my first choice. And the thing that sticked out for me mainly was their course content and structure. That really appealed to me before applying. When I applied, and I also came to an open day, and there were several applicant days like HLS days and another applicant day which I attended, and I saw from those events that DMU was a perfect choice for me.
Yeah, just going off from what Brent said as well, it's literally a similar situation with me. So I toured like different universities and stuff, and I made sure that attending each open day was a priority on my list, because it's all well and good reading about the actual uni, but I feel like it's only when you're actually there that you can really like see the facility, see who you're going to be taught by, and see whether it's a good fit. And out of all of the ones that I applied, DMU felt like the best fit as well. And another reason I also applied to DMU was because of their like well-established DMU Global program. So they do like so many different trips to different places every year. And at the time, 18-year-old me was like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. But unfortunately, COVID came along during that time. So a lot of the stuff had to be cancelled because of COVID, but now everything's back on. And hopefully in fourth year, they're doing a trip for pharmacy students to Dubai. And I really want to go on that as well. So yeah.
That sounds great. I really want to go on a DB Global Trip as well. They sound awesome. Maybe we can talk about a little bit about those later. And when we talk about like your other extracurricular stuff as well.
Definitely,
So we can definitely talk about that. So thanks for sharing your reasons for studying pharmacy at DMU. What have been sort of the highlights of your course so far for you, Caroline?
So the highlights for me definitely have been like for me it was always I wanted to do something sciencey, but I wanted to, it sounds so cliche, but I wanted to help like people at the same time. So I love the course content. It revolves around like the disease, the body, how like the drugs work to help help us get better and stuff. But at the same time we're learning about like how to interact with the patient, how important like patient counseling. So I love like the human factor in the degree as well, if that makes sense. And I found the content really interesting so far. Like right now in third year, I'm sure Brent can agree with us, it is the hardest year, but what we're learning about cancer, we're learning about mental health, like schizophrenia, all that stuff I'm finding really interesting. And as well as that, I've met like pretty much like my best friends, like my friends there who I can call my friends for life. So they make the whole experience a lot more enjoyable as well.
Yes, so highlights of the course so far. So as for freshers, so first of all, just to say that my first year was 2019 to 2020, but unfortunately I took a break in between, so that's where I'm at now. So 2019, that was pre-COVID. There was freshers at that point. I didn't attend any social gatherings as such, but I did attend the society fair. They showcased various societies, so including sport, so cricket, and academic societies as well, such as the Pharmacy Society, both of which are still running now. And there's also other societies as well to choose from, such as Christian, anime, and the list goes on and on and on. And yes, so I joined the Badminton Society. Cricket was sort of my main sport, but I also joined badminton at that point as well. And both sports, I really did enjoy them. Um, so I was really active during the week when I was doing juggling both, as well as studying as well. In terms of friends, during my first year, there was a Facebook group for prospective students, which I happened to join. And somebody in the group, the person in my group happened to be a pharmacy student. At that point, we decided to meet in person. We decided to attend fresher stalls, eventually start to attend lectures together as well. And then until now, I'd still consider him a good friend. I also made friends through attending lectures and also building a rapport with a few course mates as well. I was able to relate to them, share my joys, my concerns. Yeah, it was really good, and it's been really good thus far as well. And we'll consider a few of them lifelong friends today. As for extracurricular activities, there's a BPSA association, which is the British Pharmaceutical Students Association. They run sort of conferences around the UK, which any pharmacy student can attend. And they're great network opportunities, good for academic purposes as well. Learning more about opportunities within the pharmacy world. And I'd recommend any pharmacy student as well to get involved with this. So you might learn more about this in your first year. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, definitely as well. And when Brent mentioned the Pharmacy Society, they run a pharmacy ball like pretty much every single year, and that is like the highlight. That is what's in the social calendar for like a lot of us. Like for us, it was at the end of February, so just last month, a couple of months ago, and they held it at the Mercure Hotel in Leicester, and it was a really good night. Everyone was dressed up. There was DJs, there was dancing, good food, and a lot of us enjoyed that as well. So definitely, when it comes to university, stuff like that is like just a good way to keep you going as well.
Yeah, I just add on as well. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
My highlights of second year and third year. So second year was interesting. We studied quite a few topics that I enjoyed. Outside the course, I was also able to attend a pharmacy conference, the same BPSA conference I was talking about. That was held for a week, and I learned quite a lot. And there were a lot of opportunities that were available which I didn't know about. And then as for third year, the year I'm in now, I've had the opportunity to become a committee member of Cricket Society, which I didn't believe that I'd even be in now. So I'm part of the committee. I've become more involved with the society as well. I've learned a lot, and it's developed my organization skills, and especially when having to meet lots of deadlines due to the high demand of pharmacy.
That's great. It's great to hear how you guys have made friends both within your course and externally, like through different societies, sports clubs. And we've got so much going on here as part of the Students' Union that it's really nice to hear that those initiatives and those things are working for you. So you're clearly having a great time here at DMU and loving your courses. I wanted to see whether, Caroline, if you had any advice to anyone who was watching at home today, watching UT thinking, God, I can't wait to be there, but they're about to apply for pharmacy. How would you help them prepare for studying at DMU?
So definitely, like before I started DMU, I did have to have like a good think about quite a lot of things. So I'm from Northampton, so it's not too far from Leicester. So it's only like it can vary between like a half an hour to a 45-minute train ride. But I wanted to live out for uni because I was like, it's only like 3-4 years. This is likely the only chance I'm gonna get to fully be independent. And I'm so glad that I made that choice because I'm sure like a lot of us can relate. Back home, our parents tend to do a lot of things for us, like the washing, the cooking, the cleaning, the ironing. And I remember when I was 18, I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to start doing all this by myself. But it was a good like learning experience. And it's just one of those things you have to do as you like get older. And I'm really happy that I like came to like I decided to live out, because I feel like it made me more independent, more responsible for my own decisions. Like I love shopping, so I've had to be hard on myself, like not too hard, but like cut down on the like shopping a little. And the other day I was thinking like, wow, I've really become an adult, because I went to the shop the other day and I was like picking between two different colors for cushions, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the kind of stuff I used to make fun of my mum for. But yeah, so it's definitely like helped me become more independent. It's helped me increase my confidence. And I feel like with uni as well, a way that I prepared, I had like a think about why I wanted to do pharmacy, what I wanted to get out of my 4 years here. So even though every time, sometimes it comes, I'm sure Brent can relate with this, sometimes these assignments, these deadlines, they knock you down one by one. But just focusing on the end goal, what I want to achieve out of this, has been my main motivator throughout like the 4 years as well. And as well as that, even if you're staying at home, uni definitely like shapes you to be like independent. Like if you're staying at home and you're catching the train, you have to be organized, like because sometimes these lectures are so early. If the lecture's at 9, you find yourself having to wake up a bit earlier. Just yeah. And in terms of like preparing as well, I made sure that I got a student rail card. So it gives you 30% off rail tickets pretty much all year. And setting up a student bank account is good as well, because student finance, it's assessed based on your parents' income. And usually you do get the right amount, but sometimes if you don't get enough and like you need a bit more to like pay your rent, basically student banks have this thing called like an arranged overdraft. So they give you like 1,000, 2,000 like extra to spend, and you only have to pay it back a year or so after you graduate. So I made sure that I opened that as well. And pretty much, yeah, I went in with an open mind, and I'm really happy with how things have turned out so far.
Great stuff. Thank you. I'm sure Brent's got plenty of tips as well.
Yeah. So preparing for university overall, it's actually lots of fun. So the months leading up to university, I was really excited. Even simple things just like stationery, I was just really excited about buying. So um, so yeah, you just prepare by mainly buying stationery. Buy that on time, I'd say. Any gear such as backpacks, there's not too much you need at the start. And then also I'd just say just come as you are as well, just be yourself, and you'll just get into the swing of things as you start. In terms of financing and banking, I knew that I'd have a certain amount of money, which is a loan. It's not free money, that will be given to me for the year in installments periodically, every few months actually. So I had to plan. Um, I know where my expenditure would go towards, how much money outside of student loan I'd need to cover other costs. In terms of travel, I'm a commuter myself. I'm not too far from the uni, so that also gets factored into the amount of loan that you're gonna get. So I had to ensure that the money that I'm going to use take out of the loan was gonna go towards the fuel that I'm gonna use to get to and fro from school. In terms of deals or anything like that for students, definitely download the Uni Days app. I'd say definitely download that. Make sure you download it. There's a lot of great deals that they have from many shops, stationery, clothing, anything like that you need. So as soon as you start, download the Uni Days app. Yeah, in terms of cooking, although I'm a home student, I do try to prepare a few meals for myself. Yeah, and for others too, whether it's desserts or anything simple like that. And I tend to use YouTube as well for cooking. That's a great source if you want simplified methods to teach you sort of how to cook meals. Yeah, so for prospective pharmacy students, what tips I'd give them for studying or revision equipment. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there. One that I'd recommend is called Speed Pharmacology. So Speed Pharmacology. You mainly need that in your second year, to be honest. But you could use that as a revision tool. And it will help to simplify some topics that you might find challenging. And also, it's to say that a lot of students tend to use flashcards. That tends to be a great way of for memory recall, whether it's online or paper flashcards. And then things that I wish that I'd done before. Earlier in the course, I wish that I'd started going through work a lot earlier than I did, like through content and revision and stuff like that. as this would have given me enough time to revise for end of year exams. So that's all I have to say.
Brilliant. There's so many good tips there from both of you. I'm really, really impressed with that. That's great. There's plenty of information also on our DMU website, where you can find we've got like a handy little student checklist with more information on topics that we've discussed so far. So that's on our Your DMU Community website there, where all your information about coming to DMU and preparing for it is all listed on there. So before we move on to the next section, we're now going to answer some of your questions. So I can see that we've been busy in the chat there. So hi, Emma. Thanks for joining us. Emma's asked today, how is pharmacy assessed? Is it a mix of coursework and exams? Caroline, could you fill us in?
Yeah, you are actually right. It is a mix of coursework and exams. So at the end of the year, for the first, second, and third year, you'll have your main like multiple choice exam. So for us this year, that's like 75 questions right at the end of the year, and it's for all the modules that you're doing. And we have coursework as well throughout the year, so that kind of just like supplements what you're learning at the time. As well as that, we have these things called OSCEs, which are practical exams, and there'll be a mix of either like live role plays or written exams or like case studies and stuff that you do. And it's essentially, you're the pharmacist, you have a situation, what would you do? And they are timed and they're quite important as well. So it really just helps you get into the practice of what you would be like as a pharmacist in practice. And I think for me personally, I like doing coursework because exams, obviously there is that pressure, and coursework can help you like up your grades. It like bring up your grades towards the end of the year as well. And I believe in first year, what you get like overall, it doesn't count. It's your second, third, and fourth year that count towards your overall mark at the end. So I'm glad that first year is just there to kind of like for you to like settle into uni. But yeah, obviously pass and do well in your exams, but don't worry too much in first year as well. Yeah.
Lovely. And next question is going to go to Brent. So how many days a week do you go into uni?
Across the years, first year, second year, third year, I'd say on average of 3 to 4 days a week. Some of it, especially year 1 and 2, is a bit lab heavy, so you might have like 4 days a week to go in. You tend to get 1, if not 2 days off in a week throughout the year, unless you're on placements or anything like that. So yeah, I'd say on average 3 to 4, let's say 4 days in a week, you're going to be on campus.
Lovely. And then we've just got one more from Mohammed, just asking about describing the typical day of a first year student and what's the timetable like. So very similar to what you've just answered there, but
Yeah.
anything to add on that one, Caroline?
I can tell you. So as a first year student, you'd have some, in a typical day, you'd probably like have a lecture in the morning, and then we'd go to the lecture, attend the lecture, and then you'd probably have like a 2 to 3 hour gap. So what my friends and I used to do, if we're feeling like good, we'd go out, grab some food, grab something to eat and drink, and then we'd usually have like some kind of a workshop or a seminar, and then we'd have that, so we'd attend that as well. Go back to our own flats, and on a good day would be like, let's be good, let's go study in the library for like a few hours in the evening just to go through what was covered during the day. And this is just another side point as well for me, and I feel like for a lot of other people, a really good way to like study for pharmacy is if you sit in a group and you just teach each other the content or practice like the role play and like role plays and stuff with your friends. And that really helped me in first year as well when it came to like these practical exams, like these group studies, teaching each other stuff. And yeah, hope that close it up.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
I think we've got another question here from Hero. Can you do placement in a different city, Brent?
Unfortunately not, no. As far as I know. Being a third year, this year, our placements were based across Leicestershire. A couple of people did have to go to Loughborough, which is about 25 minutes drive away from Leicester City. But as for embedded integrated placements that we get, you're not going to have to travel to another city at all. No.
You can do like these optional, then DMU usually send emails about it. You have these like optional like summer placements and stuff, and a lot of them can be in like different cities across the UK. So a couple of years ago, they sent an email to like us about Lloyd's Pharmacy doing placements in like Derby, Northampton, and because it was in Northampton, I applied to it, and because of that, I've been able to like keep a little job during the holidays. So for the past couple of years, I've been working there, and that's because of DMU doing that as well. Yeah.
Lovely. We're going to take 2 more questions, and then we're going to quickly answer those, and then we're going to move on to talk about a bit more about placements and facilities. So it might answer some of these questions. So Sophia, thanks for joining us. She's saying, do you have any online lessons, or everything in person now?
So back in COVID, thankfully those times are over now. A lot of our stuff was online, but as of now, pretty much absolutely everything is on campus. So our lectures, seminars, workshops, labs, assessments, everything's on campus. And me personally, I find that so much better, because I feel like when it's in real life, I'm sure Brent, you'll agree with this as well, it's so much easier to concentrate, and just seeing your friends every day as well, it just makes it better.
Lovely, thank you. And the last question for now, is first year difficult, and is it much harder than A levels, or is it similar to an A level content?
First year.
I know it's hard to
It's
remember.
yeah. So it's not too difficult at all, as far as I remember. I didn't really do the bare minimum. I did try and sort of do as much as I can. In terms of comparing it to A levels, I will say, it is a bit of a step up. You really just have to be organized, and once you're organized, then you'll find it definitely a bit easier. But overall, first year, no, it's not too bad. It's not too difficult. Might be a step up from A levels, but depending on your character, how willing you are to want to try and do well. So.
Great stuff. Thank you. We're going to move on now to talk about the facilities and the placements and everything. We've got a range of simulation suites and industry standard labs. So let's now just watch a short video that shows our facilities now.
Hello and welcome. I'm Alex, a third year pharmacy student here at De Montfort University. I'm going to be showing you around some of our labs and facilities we use during your time here. Right now, we're in the formulation and compounding lab. So in first year, you'll be using this facility to make lotions, creams, and ointments. Here we have all of the ingredients you'll be using to make these products, whether it's flavourings or glycerol that's used for viscosity, so making it the right consistency. Every time you have a practical, you'll be given information beforehand to set you up with what you're going to be doing. You'll come into the lab, put on a lab coat, and find the equipment at your desk. It'll be set up so you'll have the basic equipment ready to go, a list of instructions for your practical, and even the advanced setup for your materials. So whether it's analytical chemistry, so weighing up your ingredients at the right amount, or the right properties. I'll now show you some of our other facilities. Now we're in one of the microbiology labs. This is the sterile product room, and hence why I'm dressed like this. This is one of my favourite spaces to use, and we use this when we're making things like syringes, IV bags and infusions. So here we have a really high-tech bit of equipment called isolators, and what we use these for is to make sure we're not harmed by the product, and we're also not contaminating it, as it's going to be given to patients and we don't want to be giving them any bacteria that might be harmful to them. We also have some microbiology labs upstairs that are used for more generic microbiology practices like plating and identifying microorganisms. In your second year, you'll do a big identification project where you link your bacteria to a known disease. Now we'll be going over to our practice suite and showing you more of the clinical skills that you learn on the course. So now we're in one of our clinical practice suites. So you'll be in here right from year one, learning about symptoms, how to communicate with patients, and how to give them the best care. From the start, you'll be learning things about symptoms of the eye, ear, nose, and conditions like that. In this room, we have our consultation rooms. So as well as learning all of the knowledge to be a pharmacist, you're getting ready through role plays and communications to learn how to be the best pharmacist you can be. We're now in one of our other practice suites and our mock dispensary. When you come in for these sessions, you'll be given a range of patients and prescriptions. You'll come over to a dispensing station where you'll check if it's clinically appropriate for your patient and also if it's legally correct. You'll be given a load of resources from the BNF and BNF for Children to make sure that these are correct. Once you're happy that the prescription's safe, you'll come over to the dispensary where you can select tablets, capsules, antibiotics, and even controlled drugs. Once you've assembled your prescription and got it all prepared, you'll make your way over to the mock pharmacy. And you, as the pharmacist, will get to interact with an actor or lecturer and make sure you go through the counselling for your patient. I hope you've enjoyed this tour around some of the facilities you're going to be using during your time with us.
Lovely. So hopefully that gave you a bit of an insight on what you can expect studying here at DMU and the sort of facilities that we have. Please do keep putting your questions in. We've got a Q&A bit coming up very shortly, and we'll try and fit everything in. So I just wanted to ask Caroline, do you have to pay for your lab uniform? Oh, I think might have frozen a little bit there.
Yeah.
Brent. Oh, I think we're having troubles with Caroline there. Brent, did you want to answer that question for us? And we'll see if we can get Caroline back.
Yeah, that's fine. No, you don't have to pay for a lab uniform at all. It's all given to you in the sessions.
Oh, lovely. And are all the pharmacy facilities in one building? Caroline, are you back?
Pretty much, yeah. Sorry, I think my connection just went there. But yeah,
fine,
most of the pharmacy facilities, lab, everything, it's all situated in the Hawthorne building. So that makes it easier, to be honest.
Definitely. So we're going to we touched on placements a little bit earlier, but we'll just touch on them now. Obviously, it's a great way of getting work experience and equipping you with the tools that you need for the working world once you've actually finished university. So our DMU Career Service helps provide students and graduates with lifelong career support, and you're always supported no matter where you are in your career throughout your life. So some of the services that are available include networking events, internships, placement support, personalised CV feedback, preparation and practice interviews, and so much more. We've got a careers hub here at DMU and it's absolutely fantastic. So a key part of the pharmacy course here at DMU is it embeds placements throughout the 4 years of your study. As both of you are third year students, I can imagine you've probably got a lot of work experience under your belt already, but briefly, if you wanted to just give us a bit of information about your experience of placements, Caroline.
So this year we actually had placements, like integrated community and hospital placements. So I had my hospital ones at the start of the year, and it was for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. So just visiting like Leicester Royal Infirmary once a week, and we would be talking to the patients, talking to like the pharmacists, having a look at their medical notes and stuff. And at the end of it, we had to do a presentation and do a care plan and everything for the patient that we had chosen. As well as that, we had a community placement as well. So I had mine a couple of months ago in Boots, and so all of us were sent in different Boots in Leicester for a week. It was a week straight. It was pretty much 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But I'm so happy that I did it because I managed to learn a lot, and I learned a lot from that pharmacy team. And yeah, I found it very helpful. So if you're thinking about coming to DMU, they'll have placements arranged for you in first, second, third and fourth year, because I think the new GPHC like requirements, they want it to be a lot more placement heavy. So we come out well equipped.
Great stuff. Brent, how did you prepare for your placement?
There wasn't a lot to prepare because the good thing was that the school had given us enough preparation. They had already done the planning that was needed to prepare for the placements. But the main thing was to dress smartly, to try and engage with the tasks. And there'll be a placement workbook that you'll get given. It was important to read it beforehand and to engage with it during your placements as well.
Lovely, thank you. Thanks both. So it's great to hear your insight on the pharmacy placements there, and thanks for sharing. Do keep popping any questions in. We are running over a little bit, but we'll try and answer as much as we can. We're just going to quickly move on to DMU Community. We've talked about a little bit about this, about transitioning into your first year of being a student. I'm just going to ask one question each of you. So Brent, were you worried about coming to DMU, and how were those worries resolved?
Yes, so I was slightly worried, I'd say. I was sort of worried that maybe I wouldn't fit in with any peers. Just a sort of general teenage / adult sort of just worries, young adult worries. And also I was worried because there were a few rumors that I'd heard about the university, which is what you'd expect about certain universities. You might hear certain rumors about certain unis. However, when I joined, those rumors were far from what I'd experienced, and I managed to settle in well. I managed to meet like-minded people, and met like-minded people, and that definitely resolved my initial worries.
Lovely, thank you. I think to save time, we're going to go straight to your questions now, because we've got a few questions from people. So if you've got any more questions on anything that we've discussed so far, then pop them in the chat there. But also do refer back to your DMU community. As like I said, there's a checklist on there for students and ways to chat to current students that are currently studying the course as well. So we've got a first question from Prince. How much harder is the first year compared to A levels? What's your timetable like the first year? I think we answered this earlier. So is there anything else to add on that one for us?
For me personally, it is a step up from A levels, but honestly, I enjoyed like the content we learned in uni a lot more than A levels. A levels was not my favorite time at all.
Brilliant. We've got a question about the actual interview. So what's the interview like? Could you go through how the process was like, if you can remember? So Brent, can you dig back in your memory there and let us know a bit about that?
Yeah. So I'll try and be brief. The interview process was formal, but not very formal. So there was a calculations, sort of mini calculations test that you had to do. There's not a lot I can remember. There was an actual one-to-one sort of interview that you'd have with a DMU staff member. It could be anyone. They might ask you questions like basic questions like, why do you want to join the uni? What do you like about the uni? They also want to show that you want to come to the uni. They also want you to show that you want to come to the uni. And they want you to also know a bit about the uni as well. It's sort of a chat as well. You can have a bit of a chat with them, with your worries and any questions you have regarding the uni. That's the process really, and then you have to also do well in the maths exam. It's not too difficult as well. So yeah.
Lovely. We have a question from Emma about the student support. Emma, as we are short on time, I would refer you back to your DMU community pages, and on there is a whole section about student support there. And if there is anything in particular that you wanted to chat about, then do make sure you get in touch via the various channels that are listed on that there. Just another one from Prince is asking about placements and whether they're during the summer holidays or actually during the academic year. Caroline?
So our placements were during the academic year, but throughout the year they send emails of like different opportunities. So placements within GP, hospital, or industry that do take place in the summer, and these are usually like a first come first served basis. So there'll always be like announcements on, we call it Blackboard, on like the little homepage that you open to access everything. So definitely, I say if you do come here, make use of that, because they have so many good opportunities, and I'm happy to say that I've benefited from a lot of those opportunities as well. So yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, so I think we're going to end the stream there. So thank you so much for those great questions. We hope that you found this live stream helpful, listening to the current students studying here at DMU, and that we really look forward to you being part of this DMU community that we've got here. If we've not been able to answer all of your questions on the live stream, we've been quite popular today. So then please do email inquiry@dmu.ac.uk, and we'll pop that in the chat there as well. But as I said, do refer back to that your DMU community website. It's got everything on there that you might possibly need in preparation for coming. There's lots of ways you can come and visit us on campus as well, so not just online. So come and speak to our lecturers, meet the current students in person. On the 3rd of May, we've actually got a dedicated applicants taster session in the evening for the faculty. And there's an opportunity to come along, meet the other applicants that may be coming, make some friends like Brent did before in the social media chats, come and meet them in person, experience a mini lecture. And there's also free pizza as well. So I know I'll be there, definitely. So link to that is just been shown there. But again, back on the Your DMU community on the events page there. So of course, you can also come to our open day, which is on Saturday, the 1st of July. So do keep an eye out on that and book on, and we'll hopefully see you there. So thank you so much to everybody that's joined us today. Thank you, Brent, and thank you, Caroline. Great great insights into what you've been up to. I wish you luck with the rest of your studies. And thank you very much for everybody from at home that's been watching. We hope to see you at DMU in the future. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Hearing my name read out and walking across that stage just reminded me of how far I've come since stepping foot at DMU. DMU changed me, changed my life. This university gave me my identity, the friends I've made, the lessons I've learned, the degrees I've got, and it's made me who I am. DMU has provided me with so many opportunities, and I don't just mean my degrees. I'm proud of those. I have 4, but I mean the life skills, going to New York and dancing on Times Square. I'd never thought I'd do that. Going to India and teaching dance. Learning languages. I've learned 3 new languages since I've come to DMU. Volunteering hours, work experience. So these are the life skills that I've gained that I'm going to need to get on and carry on making the life that I want for myself. And if it wasn't for DMU, I probably wouldn't have done any of this. Going to Dubai was, again, another life-changing experience that I got because of DMU. I got to speak there. It's been a good experience. I've loved learning here because the lecturers that I've had all have industry experience. It's been nice because you know that they know what they're talking about. The student union elections have been a highlight for me because they were different, they were interesting. I managed to win an election during the pandemic, and I think for me that's a win that I'm very, very proud of. Graduation was emotional. My father was sat across me on that stage, and 8 years ago he came and dropped me here. He said to me, just believe in yourself and you'll be able to do it. And I did. And 8 years later, seeing him across me on stage, it was special because it felt like life doing a full circle. When people say that they don't know where home is, for me, this is home. I came here as a 20-year-old girl, and 8 years later, I'm still here, and the journey hasn't stopped. The journey is still ongoing. This is home. This is where I grew up.